Hello and welcome to the Bare Knit Knitting Podcast. Today I'm sharing with you all the sweaters that I knit in 2025. There will be 5 pullovers in total and 1 cardigan. If this is the type of content you are looking for, make yourself a cup of tea or coffee or something sparkly to celebrate 2025 and let's dive in. As I just mentioned, there will be 6 sweaters in total. Some of them are pretty popular, some of them I guess you never heard about, but I will give you some information and maybe you will be inspired to make them. And also I will share with you my thoughts, what made me start working on those patterns and what tools I used, who are the designers behind the patterns, and whether I wear a lot or not so much those sweaters. And I hope you will enjoy this content. And I want to start with the sweater that I'm currently wearing. This is the Knitting Club sweater that was designed by me, Bare Knit. If you haven't checked the video tutorial for this sweater on my channel, please do. It is a free pattern, as you can guess, and there is a complete tutorial on my channel where I step by step explain how you make this sweater from the cast on to the bind off. And I hope it is useful and easy to make because I tried to make it as easy accessible for the beginners as possible. This sweater is my most recent finished object, and the reason I made it was because I wanted to make a very basic and easy to wear raglan sweater. I feel like raglan construction is the constructions that I most often lean to. I feel like it is easy to knit the raglan shaped sweaters, and they are also easy to wear, and I feel like they fit well my body type. So I guess a couple of sweaters that I will be sharing with you will have raglan shape. But let me talk a little bit more about this pattern. So it is a top-down sweater, raglan shaped, as I mentioned, and you start with the collar and then you knit the short rows. I prefer the German short row type of making short rows. Aesthetically it looks the most flattering to me, and it is most invisible in my taste. So usually if I need to make short row, I would lean to the German short rows. Sometimes even when the patterns say do like a different type of short row, most likely I will do a German short row, if of course if it fits well the sweater itself that I'm making. I would prefer to do German short rows. And after I did German short rows here in the top, you would continue with making raglan increases. Of course, I did the raglan increases during the short rows because you know you knit it back and forth, and when you knit forth on the right side of the sweater, you would increase the raglan increases, and then when you knit it back, you would knit it normally or purl it. And then once you are done with the short rows, you do the raglan increases as you would normally do. And then you split to the body and sleeves, knit the body and then knit the sleeves. And also the body has the splitted hem here, and it is a little bit shorter in the front and a little bit longer in the back. And I think this is it for the like major construction things for this sweater. It is very easy to wear, and after I finished it, I'm wearing it almost every day. As I mentioned, the raglan shaped sweaters, I like how they look like, and also this one, it has quite a lot of ease, which also makes it easy to wear. The pattern calls for from 10 to 20 centimeters or from 4 to 8 inches, I believe, of positive ease. So for me, it was almost 20 centimeters of positive ease, which is quite a lot, and I really like it. It's easy to pair with a lot of clothes that I'm wearing. So quite a successful construction for me. And the yarn that I used Sadnes Garn Pure Gynt yarn. Don't remember exactly what the color is. I will maybe mention somewhere here in the screen. So it has these tweedy speckles here and there. I love it, and they are very colorful, and you know, it has this Christmassy vibe, but not too Christmassy. I don't know how to explain. It's you know, have these colorful things, but it's subtle, you know, it's quite a serious one. In general, my knitting experience was good, and I don't know if it's objective to say it about my own pattern, but it was very easy for me to make and to write the pattern. And I guess I would make another one, maybe striped sweater, because this one, I mean, obviously is a single color, but maybe having something stripy would give some more fun to it. I don't know, but so far I enjoy wearing it. So my final verdict for this pattern is I would definitely make one, and it is easy accessible for beginners, and there is a video tutorial for it. So thumbs up, and I hope in the 2026 I will show you another version of it, probably with stripes. And the next sweater I want to talk with you about is the Ooey Gooey from Andrea Mowry. It is also one of the most recent ones that I finished, I guess, in November. Why I made it? I think I needed some colors in my life, even though I started knitting it in, I think in July. Oh yeah, I went on a travel with the camper van and my husband, and we were traveling to the north of Norway, and I just wanted to knit something while I'm traveling, and that was one of the projects that I started making. So the yarn that I used mostly Finull from Rauma, and I have white, don't remember the color. I will put it either on the screen or in the description to the video. And another one, and the pink one is also from Rauma, and also I will also add the color there. And the colorful one, this one with speckles, I have a tag because I don't remember the name. So it is Luxury Hand Dyed Happiness Merino Extra Fine Decay from Rico design. Not sure what out of Hand Dyed Happiness. Sounds pretty fair. It looks very happy to me. So yeah, it is a decay yarn, but it's not as thick because the Finull, it's a bit finer. So the colorful one is a little bit more thick, but not much, and you can't, I guess, tell even on the sweater. It blended together very well. So all the color combination is quite successful in my taste. I love how Christmassy it looks, even though it is not Christmassy red, it's just pink, but still gives me a bit of Christmas vibes. And the construction. It is a top-down circular yoke sweater, where you start obviously in the top, and that in this one it is an interesting move. I never saw it before, I think, where you knit the collar, where you knit the short rows in the collar. So you see the ribbing here, I'm not sure you can see it. So the ribbing in the back is a bit higher than the ribbing in the front, and this is where you add the short rows. And once you are done, you would start knitting the pattern and all the color work. So yeah, this is something new to me, never did it. And also the welts, I believe it is called, those things. Here I'm also not sure I did it before, but there is nothing special with it. You just knit several rounds, and then you just pick up the stitches in the wrong side where where was the first row where you started knitting it with this color, and then knit those both stitches, your live stitches and those that you picked up together, and in the end you have these welts, if I'm not mistaken with the word. Yes. So, and all the rest of the sweater is just a circular yoke, nothing special there. Sweater. Also, you will have the color work on the sleeves, and they are a bit wide. Actually, this is where it comes my not disappointment, but something that I would rather do differently. And this is where you can see it. I mean, okay, I'm wearing a watch on this hand. Here you will see how much wider the sleeve is, and it looks a little bit weird to me, honestly. I would decrease quite a few stitches there. I guess the designer didn't want to decrease more stitches because of the color work. So the chart fits, like the pattern repeat fits here on the sleeve, but I mean it is a bit too wide here before the ribbing. So I would do it differently. But speaking of welts, these things, they take a lot of time because you have to pick up stitches from the first row of the where you started knitting in the pink color. And then with the live you knit it together with your live stitches, and it takes a lot of time. So when I finished knitting them, I saw that, oh wait, it's a bit too wide, but I didn't feel like unraveling and doing the whole thing again. I mean, unraveling this part with the pattern repeat and maybe decreasing the sleeves a little bit more. I don't know, or maybe not making those welts at all. Maybe it would be also a good solution, but other than that, it is a really nice pattern. I like Andrea Mowry's patterns because they are easy to follow and they fit well. Nothing wrong with them. But yeah, I feel like she could do better with the sleeves, at least in my opinion. Regarding the modifications that I did, of course I knit the sleeves and the body longer because I'm quite tall, and normally patterns, the lengths that you are supposed to make sleeves and the body, they are usually a bit too short for me. So normally I would add like, I don't know, 4 or 5 centimeters everywhere just to fit me better. And yeah, this sweater, it is quite cropped. Maybe it was supposed to be even more cropped, like a bit compared to what it is, but I like the way how I made it. I don't remember what was the length from the underarm area to the point where I started knitting the hem, the ribbing, but all in all, yeah, it's not too long, but you know, long enough for me. Overall, my experience was quite good. I would say like 4 out of 5. The only thing that I didn't enjoy making, as I mentioned, it was welts, because it takes a lot of time and it wasn't very fun, to be honest. And also I didn't like how wide the sleeve area here before the ribbing starts is. So I think it could be done better. But yeah, in general, I enjoyed making it and I enjoy wearing it, even though I finished it not so long ago, so I didn't get so much opportunity to wear it, but I'm pretty sure in 2026 it will be one of my most worn sweaters. I guess because of the colors and the shape and everything, it just gives me really good vibes. So in general, I would recommend making it. I guess not for the beginners, but if you are okay with a little bit of challenge, and of course if you are okay with knitting color work, this is the perfect fit, I guess. And you can play with colors so much. It's just infinite amount of combinations of colors that you can play with, and I enjoy scrolling in social media or in Ravelry through the finished projects with this pattern, just to see what colors people came up with, and every time I was like, oh my god, I want that one. And oh yeah, I just love how creative people can be. Even though, you know, you are making somebody's pattern, you just don't create something yourself. I mean, you do create because you're making it with your hands, but still it is somebody already made all the instructions and you are just following them. But still you can be very, very creative in terms of choosing the colors that you're making it with and the yarn, because I didn't use the same yarn that the pattern recommends. I used, as I mentioned, mostly Rauma Finull. But still, it gives a lot of freedom and just amazing amount of color combinations that you can come up with. So yeah, that's a great sweater, would definitely make it again. And don't get me started in how many options I found in Ravelry or Instagram with different color variations that I was just like, yep, would make it. And I guess my wardrobe doesn't have so much space so I can put all the sweaters that I would make in all the combinations of colors. And the next sweater is Mua sweater from Linka Neumann. If you watched my top 10 sweaters video, you should recognize this one. It got one of the top spots of my most worn sweaters. And this is true, I wear it a lot, I love it. And I guess one of the reasons for that are the colors. But overall, it is very easy to wear sweater. It is quite long, so I can just cozy up in it. And yeah, it just feels amazing wearing it. Why I made it is because of the colors, obviously. I guess I followed almost the same color combinations that the designer had in her sample. I'm a big fan of green color and yellow color, and if there is a lot of those colors in a pattern, it's just almost immediately sold for me. I guess that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to make it. And also it looks a bit traditional, like Norwegian traditional to me also, and this is why I made it. So regarding the yarn that I used, most of the sweater is knit in Navia Trio. It is a yarn company that is located in Faroe Islands. I traveled there a year and a half ago with my husband just to explore Faroe Islands and what souvenirs a knitter brings from anywhere they're traveling to. Of course, I brought a lot of yarn, and basically all the colors that this sweater has are from that yarn producer. Besides, I guess, this dark blue, it is Norwegian yarn. I don't remember the brand. I will link it in the description here. And also the blue one, a light blue, it is Plötulopi from Istex Icelandic. Altogether, I felt like this gives me a lot of Scandinavian vibe with all this yarn together that is coming from different Scandinavian or Nordic, probably right to say Nordic countries. And I mentioned in the beginning of this video that there are several sweaters that you probably never heard about, which is sad, and I guess this one is one of those, or at least I didn't see so many people in my social media or whatever is popping up into my face when I'm scrolling in the internet. So I don't see people knitting this pattern a lot, which is shame, because I like how it looks, and you have also an infinite possibility of color combinations with this one. By the way, if you made this pattern, please let me know in the comments under the video. I would be happy to see, and if you can share your links to your social media or anything where I can see a photo of your finished sweater, I would be happy to see the color combination, because again, the variation of color combination can be infinite, and every time I see like something unexpected, I'm very inspired. And again, I want to make one more, or not even one maybe, with this pattern, but in different colors. But for now I have only one, and I wear it a lot. By the way, this yarn is very soft. It is peeling a little bit, but not too much considering how much I wear this sweater. I guess I would need to remove all the peels, but for now it is still wearable. Oh, also another thing fun to say. So as I mentioned, I bought this yarn when I traveled to Faroe Islands. I have no idea what happened when I was in the yarn shop when I was buying the yarn. I had a pattern with me, but I bought not enough of white yarn, so it was like, I don't remember, I bought like 3 or 4 balls, and I had to buy like almost twice more than that, or I don't remember the ratio, but I definitely had to buy many more balls that I actually did. And when I was back and I made like half of the sweater, I think. Oh no, usually when I knit sweaters, I start from the sleeves. If it is a bottom to top sweater, I would first knit the sleeves, and then both sleeves, and then I would knit the body. This helps me with fighting the sleeve island thing, and also if the gauge is not working out or I feel like I don't like the yarn combination or anything, it will be much faster visible compared to the body where the progress is much slower compared to the sleeves. So this is, yeah, these are the reasons why I start with the sleeves. And speaking of too little yarn, so I made both sleeves, and then I figured out that I used almost all the white yarn for the sleeves only, and I had to knit the whole body still, and the yoke and everything. So on that point, I decided to check whether I can order this yarn here in Norway, and it turned out it is possible. It is being sold here, which was easy for me. And once I ordered it, I didn't even dare to ask if they have dye lots, the ones that I had, because I mean, I brought it from a different country. So when the yarn arrived to me, after I made the order, the shop contacted me saying, hey, sorry, but we have like 2 balls in one dye lot and 3 balls in other. I think I ordered 5 more. So I was like, okay, what can you do? I will just alternate the skeins and it will work out. No, you know what? I think I ordered only 3 of them, but it doesn't matter. So one of them was one dye lot and 2 of them were of different dye lot, and the one had its unique dye lot. Turned out that it is the same dye lot that I brought from Faroe Islands. So it was a little bit of a relief, but still I had 2 other 2 balls from other dye lot. So anyway. I just alternated the skeins when I was making the body, and the colors are actually a bit different because those 2, like the weird ones, are a little bit too yellow compared to the ones that I have now. So I was just alternating the both like white colors just to blend in, and also there is quite a lot of color work with green color, so I think it's really barely visible, and you need to know that there is something happening there, but I was never asked by people, ooh, it looks different, what is happening there? No. So if you have similar problem, never mind, just alternate the skeins and it will work out in the end. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about modifications that I did. Actually, I didn't make a lot of modifications here. I think maybe the length of sleeves, as I usually add a little bit of length, and maybe I added like 2-3 centimeters length to the body, because in this pattern it's not so big difference with my body measurements, so I didn't have to add too much, but still I think I added a little bit. And all the rest, I think I didn't add anything on top in terms of modifications. My knitting experience with it is also, I think, 4 out of 5. And the reason for that is because this sweater involves sticking. And this was the first time I did sticking, which is scary. It is crazy scary, especially in the collar part. Let me show you. As you can see, the front of the sweater, you have like this color work, like not going the whole way there, but just like, you know, it ends on some point. And how you make it, you just knit the tube basically, like all the way, like you would cut for the sleeves. And for the front of the sweater, for the collar, you would knit all the way to the top, and then you would reinforce this part, and then you would cut. Well, cutting here, it wasn't too scary, but cutting here is just, you know, you are just doing it in this like weird shaped way. It wasn't fun at all. And why I say that my experience was 4 out of 5 is because the pattern doesn't give a lot of information how to reinforce and what to do with yourself and what tools you would need in order to reinforce it properly. It just says reinforce it with the sewing machine. Well, cool, but well, when I was making it, I didn't own a sewing machine, and so I had to, yeah, I mean, I googled how to do it with a crochet hook, which worked out well, especially here in the sleeves. I mean, it is a little bit bulky here, but it's because the yarn is quite thick, and I think it is Aran weight yarn, so you would expect it, that's fine. But here in the collar area, you know, it's not so easy, at least for me. It wasn't like doing the crochet chain, like, yeah, crocheted chain. It wasn't so easy because it has this curve. And then when you cut, you need to make sure you cut it well. So yeah, it took me quite a lot of time and effort. So I crocheted the chain, and then just to be sure, I with a sewing needle and just a sewing thread, I just went and reinforced it like that, because again, it was my first time cutting my collar work, cutting my sweater, and it was scary. But anyway, and also first several times when I was wearing it, I was so scared that it will unravel, but no, everything went well, nothing is sticking out, and but still sometimes when I take it off, especially through my head, I'm quite, you know, quick to do stuff. I can hear some sound. I was like, oi, I hope it didn't unravel. But no, everything is working well, and as I mentioned, I wear it a lot. It keeps its shape and all the threads are still there. So as I said, I would not give this pattern like 5 out of 5, but yeah, the sweater itself, I love it, but the pattern instructions, I think they could be improved, and especially if people are not aware how to do their reinforcement, and yeah, it's better to hold their hand a little bit better in the pattern. But anyway, it is one of my favorite sweaters still. So I would not recommend making it for the beginners, but if you are medium level knitter and you feel like you are looking for adventures or challenges, I think this is one of the patterns I would recommend, because if you want to try sticking, it is a quite challenging one. But in the end, you have a really beautiful sweater that, again, I really enjoy wearing. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. And also, if you made one of those sweaters that I already talked about, or I inspired you of making some of them, please mention in the comments what you would like to make or you already made. I would be curious to know if we think alike and maybe like something similar. But let's talk about what I'm wearing right now, and this is the sweater number 4 that I will be talking about today, and I guess you recognized it. It is Olga Sweater from Petiteknit. It is one of those famous patterns that everybody makes, and of course I had to make it. But fun fact, I didn't know about this pattern until April or something this year. I guess I never paid attention to what pattern exactly it is, but I guess I already saw photos of it in Instagram or something. But anyway, Olga Sweater by Petiteknit. So the reason why I decided to make it was because I loved the stripes, and of course the back or shoulder construction. I just like this line that is going slightly behind of the shoulder, and yeah, I think that was the most that made it special, or made it look special for me, and I decided to make it. The yarn that I used was a combination of yarns. Only the pink one is the one that is recommended in the pattern, which is Gynt by Sadnes Garn. Both white and green yarns that I used with this sweater are not recommended in the pattern. The white you can see over there in the cone with my lovely zebra resting, and the green one over there. The white is the DK weight 100% wool yarn, and the green one, it is a combination of merino and cashmere. I don't remember the proportions. I would say like maybe 85% of merino, 15% of cashmere or something like that. And both of them are amazing. And also I combined both of those yarns with silk mohair. I will put information about the yarn and brands that I used in the description under this video. Modifications. I don't think I made a lot of modifications in this sweater. I guess only the lengths of sleeves. And by the way, I think, no, No, I think the modifications that I did was the colorful collar, and yeah, I think I have it, yes. I have it everywhere, and on the hem as well, and on the sleeves. So I added this contrasting color or different combined or just different color everywhere where the ribbing goes, and I love it, and I love how much of spring vibes it gives. I started knitting it sometime in April or maybe May, so maybe that was the time when I was influenced a lot with the spring colors and you know, this vibrant and juicy colors around, and I wanted to make something like that. So this is what I used. Can't say that I wear this sweater a lot, but a decent amount. Possibly because of the bright colors, and not every day I feel like wearing bright colors, but if I do, it is one of the sweaters that I would go to, and it is quite easy to wear. Maybe it's a bit cropped, let me show it to you again. I mean, it's not too cropped, but sometimes I feel like it's a bit more cropped, and I cannot always pair it with whatever I'm wearing, so maybe this is also one of the reasons, but all in all, it is a good garment to have. My knitting experience was quite good. It isn't the first pattern I made that is designed by Petiteknit, and her patterns are okay following. They are like not so detailed compared to Andrea Mowry's patterns, but they are okay. Nothing special there. And also it is quite a quick knit, I guess because of the stripes. You know, with every stripe you feel like, oh, I need to add another one and another one, and it just goes much faster. So if you are not sure where to start making and just plain stockinette feels a bit boring, consider adding stripes. It makes the life much more fun, and it just flies off the needles. So I would definitely recommend this pattern. Either you are a beginner or experienced knitter, it is a nice pattern to make. And again, the construction of the shoulders I already showed you. It is very interesting, and you just... oh, by the way, I haven't mentioned how you make it. You start in the back, and you knit it back and forth. A lot of purling involved, just be aware of it. So you knit it back and forth while increasing a bit, so you know, with every row it goes further. And then when you have a certain amount of stitches, you would just knit it back and forth until the end of the underarm area, and then you would start in the front, one of the shoulders, knit it back and forth, while at the same time shaping for the neck. And then another shoulder, once you have knitted somewhere in this area, and then you will start another shoulder and do the same with the shaping and stuff, and knit it under the underarm area, and after that you would join the back of the sweater and the front of it and knit it together in the round, while at the same time, of course, adding stripes. And then after you are done with the body, you would pick up for the sleeves and knit the sleeves, and then you are done. I used the tubular bind off to finish the sweater, which I really like. It gives a nice ending to the sweater, which I can only recommend. It's a bit fiddly, you know. You have, if you haven't ever done it, is what you do, you have some preparation rounds, and then you cut the long tail of yarn, just enough to do the whole sleeve or the hem, which with the hem it is much more yarn you need, so your tail will be very, very long, or if it's not long enough, you would need to join it in the middle, but it's better to be sure and have it long enough, because otherwise when you join it's not so good. And then once you have it, you would do the Kitchener stitch. As a result, you will have this ending. So it is a bit fiddly, but for me it is totally worth it. I don't mind, and it gives a nice and stretchy finish. So my final verdict for this sweater is I would definitely make it again. Not sure I will, I'm almost sure I will not, because I mean, it's a nice drop shoulder sweater, but I don't know, it just, I already have one, and I don't feel like adding another one. But if you are considering making it, I would definitely recommend and encourage you to do it. It's nothing wrong with it. It is easy to wear, and just a nice sweater. the sweater number 5 today is Ranunculus from Midori Hirose. I think you already recognized it, as it is also one of the most popular, I guess it is the most popular, at least on Ravelry, sweaters. And this is my second version of it. The first one I made, I don't remember, 3 or even 4 years ago. But this one I made it this year and I heavily modified it. I finished it, I think, in August or maybe in July, definitely this year. And for this sweater I used the 100% cashmere yarn. It is quite thin or fine yarn. I enjoyed making it, and I didn't want to hold the yarn double. Maybe because I don't have, I'm not sure, I think it was one of the reasons. I wasn't sure if I have enough yarn to hold it double, and also it is 100% cashmere, a bit luxurious, so I didn't want to combine it with anything. So I decided to hold one strand of yarn, and for that, and another thing, I didn't want to make it too see-through, because otherwise the holes in the yarn, they will be huge and I would have to use huge needles to meet the gauge. So this wasn't something I was looking for, and in order to make it work with this yarn I had to modify the sweater, and it worked well, like 99% well, because the only thing that I'm not happy about is the collar area. I feel like it is a bit too wide, but it is not the issue in the modification itself, but the pattern itself. It has very wide neckline. So with my modification I tried to make it narrower, but I guess I was too optimistic, and or maybe the yarn itself it stretched, because the I don't remember, I think it is provisional cast on that you use to start knitting the collar, and it is quite stretchy, so probably it just stretched out, and in the end it is quite wide. So this is something I'm not super happy about, and all the rest it worked well. And I don't remember what was my gauge. It was something around almost like twice more stitches in 10 centimeters I had compared to the pattern. So yeah, I had to do some math in order to make the size that I want for myself, and I like how it fits. Yeah, besides the neckline area. Maybe I can fix it by adding some rubber band or however else. There are several ways to fix it, but I just didn't give too much thought about it, and I don't know, possibly wasn't too motivated. In general, I like this sweater. Let me talk a little bit about the construction. As I already mentioned, you start in the neckline area, you do the, I'm like 99% sure that you do the provisional cast on for it, and then you knit the collar, and then yeah, so basically it is a circular yoke sweater. And then it has lace here in the yoke. Additionally, in the pattern you would make the raglan increases in the after you finished with the lace. I didn't do that, not sure why. I think because my math worked in the way that the amount of stitches that I increased to during the yoke increases, it was enough for the circumference of the sweater that I wanted it to be. So I didn't feel like adding more stitches, and that's why I didn't do any raglan increases there. But yes, the pattern itself, it expects you to do the raglan increases. I think in my first version I did the increases and I like it, so yeah. I think it's just a preference so yeah, you can either do it or skip it. Regarding the modifications, I'm not 100% sure whether the pattern expects you to have the twisted stitches in the ribbing, because I did them, I twisted them. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, I can hide it behind. I did the twisted stitches everywhere in the sleeves and in the body. Also, I did the tubular bind off everywhere on the sleeves and on the body. I think the beauty of this pattern is in the fact that you can basically make it with any yarn. The samples that you can see in the pattern photos, some of them use lace yarn, I think it is like a silk mohair. Some of them use a little bit thicker yarn, so you can play with it. And especially if you go to Ravelry projects, the tab in there, you will find like amazing variation of yarn weights, yarn combinations that people used. In general, my knitting experience was, I think, 3 out of 5, and the main reason why it is not so high, I guess it is because the yarn is so fine, and it took me forever. And yeah, as I mentioned previously, usually I knit sleeves first. So if it is a bottom-up sweater, I would just start with the sleeves immediately. But if it is a top-down sweater, I would knit the yoke, would knit several centimeters after the yoke, just like long enough so I can later put it on just to check if I like the length of the sleeves, for example. So yeah, this is what I did with this one. I finished the yoke, knit several centimeters in the body, and then I picked up a sleeve, knit a sleeve, one of them, and then it was so long. It was exactly one of the projects when I was on the sleeve island, because it took me forever. And once I finished with the sleeve, I don't remember, either I picked up one of them and knit a little bit and then picked up body just to give myself a little bit of variation, or I finished the other one, stayed longer on the sleeve island, and after that I was on the body island. I don't think this term exists, but for this project I was definitely on a body island, because it was just like not moving. The only thing I think that was keeping me sane and pushing me to do some progress, first of all, I wanted this sweater to be finished, because the yarn, it is amazing. It is so soft, you just don't want to take it off. And that was the one thing that motivated me. And the other one that I used, I would put the stitch marker. So every time I start knitting, like today, for example, I would put a stitch marker like next to the stitches that I have on my needles. And then I will knit several rounds and I will see the progress from the stitch marker. And every time I would knit, I would see like a couple of millimeters, centimeters of progress. And I was like, yes, it's moving a little bit, but it was so slow. That's why sometimes when I was talking about the color, did I use the provisional cast on or not? I'm not 100% sure, because I started making it, I think it wasn't even 2024, maybe even 2023. It was long ago. It was just resting in a drawer just forever. Because yeah, again, I was for long on Sleeve Island and Body Island. But then this year I finally pushed myself and finally finished it. So I'm quite proud and happy with myself and relieved, because I really wanted for it to be finished, and now I finally have it. But since the neckline is a bit wider than I would like it to be, this sweater is not getting as much of wear as it could. So probably I need to motivate myself again and fix it somehow, and so I can wear it more, because it is a really nice sweater and it definitely needs some more love. And my final verdict for this sweater, I would for sure recommend knitting Ranunculus sweater. I think there is a reason why it is one of the most popular patterns ever, and it looks nice and easy to make. And since my first version of it was very early in my knitting career, I can tell that it is quite I mean, I wouldn't say it is super easy for the beginners, but it is not too tricky. The lace part, you know, you just need to figure it out, and but the pattern gives you good instructions, and I think they even have links in the pattern to the videos with video tutorials how you do it. If not, you can easily Google it. At least that was definitely what I did. I learned everything from YouTube. You could definitely do it. the last sweater that I wanted to talk with you about today is my cardigan. There is no exact pattern that I followed when I made it. It was basically a self-drafted cardigan sweater, which has a raglan construction, and I didn't make any design for it. At the point when I was making it, I didn't consider making any designs at all, so I just wanted to make a cozy, very easy to wear, black colored cardigan. So this is what I did. But if you feel like that you want something similar and you want me to write this pattern, let me know in the comments. I will consider making it, because this is also one of the sweaters that I like wearing. It is quite an easy to combine with anything that I'm wearing. And you know, there is always place for one more basic cardigan in the wardrobe. And so yeah, if you want a pattern like this one, let me know. I will consider making it. So the construction for this one, it is a top-down cardigan that you knit back and forth, so no stitching needed. You start in the collar, cast it on, make a ribbing, and then you would continue, and then you make the short rows. Of course, I use German short rows to make the neck a little bit higher up, and then you do the raglan increases, and after that you separate for the body and for the sleeves, and continue knitting the body back and forth, of course. And yeah, and once you are done with the body, you would knit the sleeves. And in the very end, you would pick up stitches here in the front to make the button bands. This is basically it. For the finishing, I also used the tubular bind off for everything, sleeves, hem, and for the button band. It's nice and stretchy and easy to wear. And the buttons, I spent quite a lot of time looking for the buttons, and I don't know, maybe you have the same thing. Usually for me it is quite difficult to find the buttons that I like. I also considered looking on Etsy for some bright colored, you know, funny, because the sweater itself, it is black color. I mean, it's technically it is charcoal, but still it is dark and nothing special there. So I wanted to bring some life in it with buttons, and I was looking for some interesting buttons to attach, and I ended up buying those green buttons. I'm not sure what material it is. Most likely it's some plastic, but yeah, I like the color. I love green color. And the yarn that I used for the sweater is Trend Merino Angora, which is 50% merino, 30% viscose, and 20% angora. And it is 500 meters in 100 grams. So it is quite fine yarn. And and in the sweater I combined it with silk mohair. We'll link the brand for the silk mohair in the details under this video. And the fabric of this sweater, it is amazing. I guess it is angora and mohair together. You just want to cuddle in it and stay cozy. So if you are considering whether you want or not to make something with angora, definitely do. It is really nice to the touch and to the feel fiber. Well, obviously there are no modifications that I made to the sweater since it is a self-drafted sweater. But in general, I really liked knitting it, even though it is a plain stockinette. But maybe because I used silk mohair with it was just really pleasant to my hands to work with. So I didn't feel any problems with making it, even though it is, you know, you are knitting it back and forth, so you are purling a lot. But I don't have any issues with purling. That doesn't bother me. In general, my experience was really nice. I would definitely knit it again, and as I already told you, if you feel like you want to make a similar cardigan, let me know. I will definitely consider making a pattern of it, and of course I would make it in some yarn that is more easily accessible than, you know, some random cone of yarn that is probably really hard to buy anywhere. I would definitely make another sample of this sweater if I were to make a pattern of it. But for now, you know how many basic cardigans you need in your life, maybe another one in lighter color, but for now I'm just happy with this one. So as a general verdict, I would definitely make it again and would recommend it making to other people, even if they are beginners. Nothing special there. Maybe tubular bind off is a bit more interesting to work with, but there are a lot of tutorials online that you can always check if you are unsure what to do with it. But other than that, it is a quite interesting and fun thing to make. And this is it for today's episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content. Please write in the comments if you made any of those sweaters yourself or you made something different. And please, I'm really curious to see. Maybe you will inspire me for 2026. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and I will see you in my next videos. Bye!